Welcome back to Spork Syndicate. This is Tom. Let's go on an odyssey of crazy builds, firepower, rust, dust, and a death race rife with as much controversy as a death race should have. I went all out for Death Race 2026, the warped brainchild of Jody Sims, and fourth year of this ever-growing event. I dedicated my June 4 Horseman build as my entry and built Jackson a fine masher for the carnage. And I also decided that my wife should get in on the action as well. Since this is a car from my wife's home country of Cuba, it has to be 1959 or older. This Hot Wheels Custom 53 Chevy will do nicely. Plus, my wife will love the pink. My first mock-up is to float this baby on some 3D printed tires. When the body came out of the stripper, I had some work to do. After steel brushing away the residue and sanding and filing, I decided this car had too much trim for the wasteland. It had to have naked fenders, like the car is actually an amalgam of several 53 Chevys. After grinding away the trim, I filed and sanded things into shape. Much more to do, including mounting a pair of missiles somewhere on this thing. When it comes to the die-cast customizing hobby, this is some of my favorite work. Creating one-of-a-kind customs, just cutting and gutting, building suspensions and grinding fenders to accommodate new tires. It's always fun just to stare at a little toy car and imagine it is something else, and then making that something else. I was tight on time, so I hand-painted the Cuban flag livery. The rust and dust will take center stage, so perfect lines won't matter. I built a mount through the back window and glued together a few final faction pieces to make this 53 Chevy a threat to democracy. It was a chaotic assembly line. Paint one part, then move to another car while that one dries, and so on. Makeup plays a big part of rust and dust for me. Flakes of it mixed with paint make those barnacles of corrosion that play so well. They also add that sandblasted look that a car roving the wasteland would have. Sometimes, when you mate a Just Trucks 4x4 suspension to a Hot Wheels base, things don't come out even. For whatever reason, the starboard side of the bow wasn't holding together. Tell us about your car.
My car has the big wheels like this, and they roll, and then my has like an engine sticking out of the front. It has these guns on top. There's a Manchester City logo.
Is he gonna win?
Yeah, it's gonna win, and all the awesome Jax Bros fans are gonna be proud.
Tell us about your car.
Cuban Missile Crisis. It's been through a lot, as you can see, every year. Yeah, but we're scrappy. So when this car breaks down on the track, we'll just put it on a truck chassis and keep going, because that's how Cubans roll.
What do you have to say to your competitors?
Look out. We're mighty.
We're
little. We're scrappy. We make things work. Make stuff out of nothing.
You're gonna lose.
Are you trash talking each other? This is the kid hiding in the corner here. So how did the three-pronged Spork Syndicate entries do? In the first round of the death race, a straight-up drag race, Jackson faced Mark Anthony. Jax took the first heat, but Mark came back from behind and won the second. This led to sudden death, and the race lasted barely half distance when Jackson was able to land a shot on Mark and win his way into the second round. The Cuban Missile Crisis also made it to sudden death, but was walloped by Godzuka Dan in the deciding heat. Old champ me got some favor from the dice and swept my way into the second round. Jackson started in pole position in the chaotic canyon setting of the second round. He launched off the starting line and veered off into some rocks, taking 1 damage point. If your vehicle gets 6 damage points, it is eliminated. Jax got off the rocks and raced past the first gate, making his weapons hot. But his opponents had other plans, first ramming and then shooting his lifted station wagon, bringing up 2, 3, 4, 5 damage points as his wheels were almost touching the finish line. Fortunately, Jackson was able to defend the final volley and eke his way across the finish line and into the finals. Things were even more dramatic in my heat.
Yeah, I'll go with the veer just to make everything weird.
There you go. Joked on it.
I feel like I mean that is more chaotic if I do that. Then it's gonna die.
Well, you just never know.
Yeah, I'll keep it like
Well, you're
that.
about to get hit by everybody, so.
He's built for it.
Yeah, that car is built for it.
Just as much as any death race participant, I appreciate the helpers who come and play Gaslands with our entries, but I never saw someone make such a boneheaded move before this one. There was no strategic advantage, as the other 3 competitors each took 1 damage point while I took 3. The race is in all good fun, and totally up to the roll of the dice, so anything's possible, but turning my entry to block the canyon and absorbing half the allowable damage after just 1 turn was a choice, and my chances were reduced to almost 0 after just that turn. Rightfully, the other 3 competitors closed in to finish me off, with Santa Slow Dog leading the way. Fortunately, Santa also gave me some protection, absorbing hits and gunfire from Harrison Yee and 905 Diecast. However, I nipped the wall as I crossed the finish line and earned 1 last damage point and was eliminated. Yeah, I was worked up about this and posted my frustration in the live chat. Again, it's all a game of chance, and my odds had I made the finals were 1 in 5, but it wasn't meant to be. While I was melting down, I missed an amazing conclusion to this historic bout. Harrison was also on the precipice of victory, but 905 Diecast wasn't having it, landing a shot that ended the rookie's first death race like the rest of us. But as he and his vehicle left this mortal coil, Harrison returned the favor when his car exploded and took out 905 Diecast. The finals were a new guard versus old guard battle, with Jace and Jack representing youth and taking on Grinch Witch and Eddie, the godfather of simple customs. The final battle royale was a tree-dotted field with colorful T-Rexes that spit acid meandering about. The goal was simple: kill as many dinosaurs and competitors as possible. Sadly, after 6 rounds, Jackson had no kills and was eliminated, finishing 4th. In the end, after 4 years of trying, the Godfather won the death race, along with young Jace finishing 2nd and Grinch Witch in 3rd. That's just the way death races go. 38 competitors means 1 winner and 37 corpses. In a row, maybe. So those builds, 3 in the race, 3 as bounties, will make their way to new owners now. Let's take a moment to celebrate the fun times had building them and hope that they bring joy to whatever collection they end up in. For Spork Syndicate, this is Tom, battered but not broken. See you again real soon.